sometimes you read scripture and stuff will leap out at you. And I was reading the other day and praying, and the scripture passage was from first letter of Peter, and in it says, "Let your love for one another be intense." And I thought that was kind of an odd word to use, you know. And when we hear about intense love, we think fatal attraction, you know, or oh my God, fatal, you know, people will say stuff like that. It's like a little too intense, especially in relationships. But the word comes from the Latin word intensus, which means to stretch out, which is, so it got me to thinking. One of the hardest periods in my life personally, and as this organization, and some of that was on the screen, that was probably the second one, but the worst one really was when we were in the old office and two members of our team were gunned down 6 weeks apart. Two members of the graffiti removal team. You know, their deaths didn't have anything to do with Homeboy or with graffiti removal, but the grief was just so huge. And when Art, the second one, was killed, it was around noon, and I raced to the hospital. I had to tell his mother. We gathered for about 4 hours trying to console each other and try to carry this really outsized grief. But I knew by 4 I needed to get back to the office because I needed to be there. I needed to see people, and I suspected people needed to see me. So I got back there, and we all were hugging and crying, and it was just tough. And then I remember at 5, there I was, just sort of sitting by myself in my office. But apparently I wasn't alone. There was a homie in the conference room in the old office. We'll call him Freddie. And he just shows up, and he sits in front of me, and we're just kind of speechless. And he says, "I know that your heart is breaking, and I wish I had a magic wand to pass over your pain." Well, this triggered in both of us a kind of sobbing that I don't ever recall in my adult life. We just sobbed, the kind of fold your arms on the desk and lean your head on your folded arms kind of sobbing. We just cried, both of us. Somehow his gentle urging and vast heart had sort of given me permission to let all this out. And when he could speak, he said, "You know, around here, we're all drowning, and you reach in and you swoop us up." And that kind of set us both off crying again. And then finally he said, with kind of a ferocious holiness, "I swear to God," he says through his tears, "somebody gave me a choice, $1 million or a chance to swoop you up, I would swoop you up." And I remember saying to him through my tears, "You just did. You aren't drowning, and I'm the lifeguard, or Mary Ellen, or Shirley, or Hector. No. The truth about all of us in the human condition is we're all drowning, and we're all waiting for somebody to stretch out with the love that does that." So today and every day, let your love for one another be intense.